Hey there fellows, Buddy Spike here. So, I finally became a pilot. I mean, a commercial pilot. I got my private pilot license in 2022, but in 2024 January I got my commercial pilot license with multi-engine and instrument rating. I started my training in January of 2022 and I got my commercial license in 2024 January, so it took me 2 whole years to from 0 hours to commercial license. I did my training in South Africa, and I've been told that 2 years was like a good time to do it. I think I could have done it in 1.5 years if I did not have some problems that were very rare and a little bit serious. What I'm trying to say is I had engine failure landing, and I also one of my application got rejected by Civil Aviation Authority because I was zero point 0.4 hours short for my multi. It's a long story. One of my instructors messed up, so I did commercial pilot license multi-engine instrument rating test, initial test by 2 different DFEs, and I passed them twice each time, and then I got my commercial license finally. So I went through a lot of ups and downs other than landings and takeoffs, and eventually I did get my license, and thank goodness that everything is over with regards to, well, the training is not over. You keep training, I think, almost your whole pilot career, but thank God I'm done at least with one big segment of becoming a professional pilot. So I'm done with South Africa, and maybe I'll be continuing in the Middle East and see how things go. I'm now in a phase of looking for my first job, and I don't know what the future holds. If you guys have any questions regarding my pilot training, do let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer. So I have about 210 hours up until now and 300 plus landings. I went to a lot of places. I mean, I know pilots with thousands of hours may have gone to places 10 times more than I have, but I but for me, I felt like this is the most amount of places I've gone in my entire life, and this is what I think allows a pilot to do. Go to a lot of places, a lot of different places, and flying the plane and having different experiences. It is absolutely wonderful. At the same time, it can be a bit tough. I was very fortunate to have an excellent training. I feel like I was trained quite well, and I also had to face some really unfortunate problems, but I guess every pilot goes through their own different problems when they're training. I must say that moving from single engine to multi-engine aircraft was very different. Most of my training was in the Diamond DA-20, and then in my last phase of training I flew about 10 hours of DA-42. That is the twin engine aircraft. That aircraft is just so much fun to fly, and to have that extra engine as a backup really gave me a lot of assurance that I'm in a much safer position compared to flying a single engine, because I've had not so, I mean, my experience with the single engine aircraft was a lot of fun, but having a power loss at night really made me feel like single engine is, it's like if anything goes wrong with the engine at night, your back is against the wall. But thankfully I managed to get out of the situation well, and I don't know if I'm gonna talk much about it in the future, but I did go through some unique experiences considering my flight training. Most of my flying when hour building was done as a solo pilot. Sometimes I flew my parents, sometimes my friends here and there, but most of the time was just me and the plane, and that's it. My home base was in Lanseria Airport, Johannesburg, and I went north, south, east, west. I went all over Johannesburg, and I traveled in South Africa more by hour building than I did by road. I did not go out much, instead of just flying around building my hours. It was a beautiful place to explore, and one unique thing about Johannesburg was that its elevation is at 4,500 feet. So you're already about halfway through your ceiling. The ceiling of the year 20 was at about, I think, 13,000 feet. So from 4,500 we normally flew at around 8 to 7,000 feet. But I think I went max as high as 10,000 feet. And just when I felt really comfortable with the single engine DA20, my training was reaching its end, and then I got into DA42, and things started to speed up so fast. Even though the speed difference of DA42 and DA20 was about 15 knots. I think 50 is too much, maybe about 30 to 40 knots. But the way things came closer to you, and the way, like, the speed at which you climb was so fast, and I had to adapt to those speeds. And I know the guys who probably fly in jets are laughing at me, but I mean, for me, from single engine to twin engine, it was quite a big difference. And then you have to learn that aircraft only within a span of 5-6 hours, so that you're ready for the test, so that in the test you're able to perform multi-engine operation, single engine failure procedures, and you're able to do instrument approaches in that multi-engine. So a lot of training has to be cramped in those few hours in the last stages of the training, so that you finish your 200 hours and you're done with your multi-engine instrument rating. Well, that's how I did it. I mean, you can do it the other way and have more than 200 hours and slow down your training, but I wanted to do as much as I can in those 200 hours. So at the end of 200 hours, I managed to get my multi-engine and instrument rating as well. I also got my RNAV endorsement, but there was a complication. The CA did not accept the application for that. So yeah, although I passed and I got endorsed for RNAV, but the application did not get accepted by the Civil Aviation Authority due to some requirements not being fulfilled. Anyways, I'm happy with what I have, and I think it is a good base to move forward from here. I've uploaded quite a few videos of me flying in the past. My first solo video is online, and my first solo navigation video is there. It was a time-lapse video. I crammed an hour and 45 minutes of flight into, I think, about 6 minutes. And then my engine failure video is there. You can watch it on YouTube. And I'm gonna have those links in the description as well. So the purpose of this video was just to let you guys know my progress of my training, and hopefully I want to see what the path takes me. Maybe I'll become a flight instructor, or I might fly part 135 operation, or 1-1 if I'm extremely lucky. But let's see what the future holds. I'll keep you guys updated as always. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Buddy Spike out.